Hello and welcome to today's video. So we're going to do geography revision for grade 10. Section A. Answer all questions in this section. So Brian said that geography involves the distribution and relationship between human activities and the natural environment. Now, what are the three main branches of geography? So we have physical geography, human geography, and practical geography. Next question. According to the geography knowledge, explain how geography and physics are related to maths. So we all know that geography is the scientific study of the earth, is the home of man, while physics is the scientific study of matter. So we find that in explaining concepts in geography, such as river flow, we do need physics related concepts like gravity, force, etc. At the same time, we realize that the instruments we use in geography, for example, to measure density, are actually physics related instruments like a hydrometer. So yeah, even when you're trying to explain a Coriolis force, how it is responsible for the movement of waves and ocean currents, we do involve the use of physics. And physics also benefits from geography, because we have geophysicists and they get to, have areas where they are applying their concepts in. Yeah. So we're going to learn, for example, about the different states of matter and how they relate to geography. Like we have the atmosphere, we have the hydrosphere, and the solid earth, that is the lithosphere. So even when it comes to drawing, we find that concepts in geography are applied in physics, like how to draw line graphs, bar graphs, and other pictorial representations. She loves geography. She wants to pursue a career related to geography. Stay two factors to consider when choosing the career. One, of course, she needs to consider her aptitude in geography. Then she needs to look at her attitude. Yeah. She also needs to consider passion, what profit she expects, and the gritty in between. So basically, interest, yeah, profitability. Then you look at your aptitude and attitude. Grade 10 learners of Katira Mixed Secondary were asked to define a map. What are they supposed to say? Basically, we all know that a map is a representation of a part or the whole earth surface on a piece of map, or sorry, on a flat piece of paper or cloth. So to pardon, a map is a representation of a part or the whole earth surface on a flat piece of paper or cloth. Yeah. Faith downloaded the map below on her tablet. So we have this one. We also have this. You can see that. Name the types of maps shown below to marks. So this one is a topographic map because we can see it has different structures like the different areas, while this is an atlas maps because it shows the different continents. So we're seeing Africa at the center, we have Europe on top, we have Antarctica below here, we have South Africa South America, North America, Asia, and Australia. Determine the contour interval of the terrain below. So this is what you do. You subtract the difference between the contours. For example, 1040 minus 1020. That is in meters. We get 20 meters interval. You can actually see as you go up the slope, we are adding 20 meters. So even if we had a dot here, we'll know that we have 1120. So it's 1000 plus 20, you get 1020, 20 plus 20, 1040, 1040 plus 20, 1060, 1060 plus 20 meters, you get 1080 meters, and that is it. The contours with their slope. So we have here 1440 and 1520, 1600, 1680, 1760, 1840. Let's see the contour interval. So the contour interval is 80 meters. So here we're seeing it's really steep. Then here the contours are sparse, like they are not closely packed, meaning it's a gentle slope. So here we go. We will find this is the steep one, so we will match it here, and this, because it is gentle sloping, it will go here. You're done. 2 marks. Alright, apart from contours, name 2 other methods of representing relief on a topographic map. 2 marks. Apart from the use of contours, name 2 other methods of representing relief on a topographic map. So we have what we call spot heights. We have hatches. We have rock. Yeah, we have rocks. We also have trigonometric stations. We also have pictorial hill shading. Yeah, they just wanted 3, but there's so many, including the rock stumps. Yeah. Question is actually here, apart from the use of contours. So when you find a student like this as repeated the semester, they've been told apart from, so they're not to mention what has already been mentioned here. Okay, while analyzing a map, Kevin came across the symbol below. So we have a dot here and we have 228, and there is an arrow there. Then you're asked, the symbol is used to represent a dash, 1 mark. So this is used to represent a spot height, spot like dot here. According to Samuel, a dendritic drainage pattern is formed when tributaries join the main river at acute angles. Draw the diagram to represent it. So basically a dendritic drainage pattern forms more of a tree-like pattern. So we have our main river here, and we have rivers joining at acute angles at 45 degrees here. So this is the main river, and this are the tributaries. So we can have as many as possible, and in fact have others So this is to show the flow of the river. So perhaps it's going downstream like that. Direction, flow. There you go. Two uses of map reading and interpretation for national development. Of course, it helps in allocation of resources. Yeah, it also helps when it comes to our voting. So elections, yeah, we need maps. At the same time, we need maps when we are purchasing land and knowing our boundaries as a nation. More points are availed in the next. During a field study in Homa Bay, most learners preferred administering questionnaires as a method of data collection. List two disadvantages of this method. So questionnaires are more of these questions, And the disadvantage is they're limited to people who can only read and write. So if I don't read and write, I will not be able to use the questionnaires. Another thing, it's expensive. Oh, another thing about administering of questionnaires, it can be time consuming, and others can actually give misleading information without explaining. Yeah, so that is it. Two methods of data representation. In geography, we have what we call fieldwork, and it involves 5 things. So this collection of data, recording of data, analyzing of data, and presentation of data. Then how do we interpret, like make sense out of this? So here, collection, we have administer questionnaires. We can have observation, counting. We can also have conducting interviews. Yeah, so these are the main ones. We can also do sampling. When it comes to recording, we can have taking of photographs and videos. You can have filling in of questionnaires. You can have a labeling of samples. You can have sample testing. Yeah, we can have filling in of a notebook like you're note taking. When it comes to analyzing of data, so basically we try to make sense out of it. So we will arrange that data, maybe find the mean, the mode, the median, and these are averages. Now we can find measures of central tendency. So this one. Now we can go ahead and find other measures such as variance, etc. When it comes to presenting of data, how do we give this data to people? So it can be form of graphs, like maybe a line graph, a comparative line graph. It can be in form of pictograms. We can have an histogram also, can have tables, we can have pie charts, can also have, display of photos. We can have a specimen display. Yeah. Then how we interpret this data? Yeah, we give an intelligent reason as to why we think things are the way they are. Maybe why there was a drop, why there was an increase, and stuff. The question: identify two methods of data presentation. We have graphs, we have the tables, we have pictograms, display of photos, and display of specimen. These methods of data collection, recording, and presentation need to know the disadvantage and the advantages. Basically, know the merits and demerits. Is it time consuming? Is it easy to represent the data, and such kind of ideas? Outline to limitation of statistics in explaining geographical facts. So of course they can be misleading, yeah, especially if they're wrong. Sometimes they could be outdated. So for example, we're in the 21st century and you're using data from the 19th century. It makes no sense. No point. The next question, section B. Answer all questions in the spaces provided after each question. The table below shows the farm products imported from Kenya between 2022 and 2025 in tons. So we have imports. 2022, the imports were coffee, we have maize and tea. In 2022, this is how we performed: 5,200 tons, 2,500 tons, 7,500. In 2023, there was a drop from 5,200 to 4,500. Then in 2024, there was an increase, and in 2025, there was a decrease. I don't know why it's alternating, an increase, a drop, an increase, a drop. Then for maize, 2,500, 2023 drop, 2024 increase, 2025 drop. Tea increase, drop from 7,500 to 6,800. Then there was an increase to 8,900, then a drop to 8,200. Then you're asked, using a suitable scale, draw a comparative bar graph to represent the data above. 7 marks. Next question. Using the graph shown, answer the following question. Which farm product had the highest number of imports between the years? Which farm product had the highest number of the highest number of imports between the years? Of course, tea. Yeah, 7,500, 6,000. So tea. Explain the trend of the farm product between the years. So over the years we're seeing a drop and an increase, etc. For example, for coffee it was 5,200 minus 4,500, 0, carry 1, so 800 tons drop. Then we have 5,800 minus 4,500, 3, 1,300 ton increase. So that is it. So we are saying in 2022 towards 2023 there was a drop, in 2024 there was an increase, and 2025 there was a drop. Which farm product was imported more than the other? State the reason. So tea was the most imported, maybe because it has more users, it was more marketed. People prefer tea, or we are not producing enough of it, so we got to actually export because we have a bigger market. Unlike maize, I don't produce a lot of maize. Coffee, the coffee farmers' morale is down, so yeah, tea was the most exported product from Kenya. The type of data presented by the bar graph, so that is discrete data. Discrete. The limitation of using a comparative bar graph. Of course, we all know that it is tedious to construct one. Number two, doesn't have that visual appeal, remembering it's just a graph. Then bar graph, as much as it can show the trend over the years, it has a limitation of the bars that can be drawn over time. Yeah. And explain ways in which statistics are important in day-to-day life. Of course, they help in decision making. So we use that statistics to know how to improve. Let's say it was teaching. You're able to see the trends over the years and know what to do to support your people. Section C, answer all the questions in the spaces provided after each question. So, question 15. During the first geography lesson, grade 10 learners were introduced to concepts of geography. State for importance of studying geography. Why do we have to study geography? One is for intellectual fulfillment. You have a lot of questions maybe about the atmosphere and the earth, so that answer there. Number 2, it's because it's a career subject you want to pursue. Let's say urban planning, remote sensing. Obviously, geography is the real deal. Another reason for studying geography. So we also have regional integration between different countries. At the same time, we understand through the study of geography, we're able to appreciate different cultures and how they do different things. Like when we are comparing population with Kenya and Sweden, we're able to understand why their population is the way it is and ours is the way it is. So yeah, it enables cultural understanding. Another thing that we see is that after studying geography, we are able to manage disasters, because a topic like environmental management and conservation, we are able to learn about the different risks that are there, like floods. How do we control that? Maybe we dig the natural levees, we construct dams, we get to plant trees. Yeah. Then you see we have things like pests and diseases, how we're going to do the spraying, culture, mass awareness, and such kind of things. It also enables us to conserve the environment. Yeah, like we learn about maybe trees and how we can get to conserve our trees, plant more, use alternative sources of energy. And yeah, it also helps in resource management. So we learn in geography about many resources, especially minerals. So we're able to know how we're going to explore them, exploit them, and utilize them for our own good, for economic good. So this one is right. This is a repetition. Very good. The next question. Explain the relationship between geography and the following subjects: history and citizenship. So we realize that history deals with the study of past events. So geography helps to put into perspective the spatial location of those past events. Let's say World War One, World War Two, where did they occur? So that's learned in. That is the relationship between geography and history. In terms of citizenship, like we know citizenship is the process or just belonging to a given country. So we realize that through geography we're able to learn about our own countries and be patriotic, know the resources that are there, the boundaries, and what have you. Yeah, so my student got, this is how many marks? 2 marks. Physics. So like we said earlier, geography is related with physics in terms of the instrumentation that I use there. They use physical principles. Then in explaining concepts in geography, such as in oceans, we do utilize physics. Oh, this is so good. Agriculture. So we know that agriculture is the science and art of growing plants and rearing of animals. So in geography, we have a whole topic about agriculture. So we do animal production and plant production, and we realize that we need geography to explain the farmer's calendar, yeah, through forecasting of the weather. At the same time, we want to see the agricultural produce, are they exported and imported. So the different locations in marketing are actually a product of geography. At the same time, we do appreciate that agriculture helps us to be able to know some of the concepts, such as the different breeds of animals that we have, whether they can thrive it, and such kind of things. And in geography, now we put that into perspective. For example, you do dairy farming on top of a highland, and when it comes to pastoralism, we are seeing people moving from one place to another in search of pastures. And what can we do about it? Maybe build boreholes and stuff. So learners at Marsabit Senior School carried out a field study on the shore of Lake Naivasha. Apart from administering questionnaires, list 4 other methods of data collection that they can use to collect data. So if you refer to my previous fieldwork analogy, so you will see we have observation, conducting of interviews, field sketching, counting, tallying, and such kind of things. For example, they can count the number of flowers they can see. They can observe the different animals that we have there. Yeah. List 3 possible challenges that they encountered while carrying out the field study. So, remember Lake Naivasha is a freshwater lake, yeah, within the Rift Valley. And some of the challenges they're likely to have experienced is maybe they slide, yeah. We can have transport challenges, from Marsabit to Naivasha. It's a very long distance, so even tire bursts are bound to happen. Steep terrain, of course, yeah. So dangerous animals like snakes, because Lake Naivasha does host a number of those animals, including the hippos. Differentiate between mean, median, and mode. So all these are measures of central tendency, but mean, you come and find the average between the total items divided by the then median is the number which is the most middle, then mode is the most appearing. Draw a diagram. Draw simple diagrams to illustrate how the following drainage features are represented on topographic map. So a permanent river, of course, will be blue in color. Let's say, yeah. So it will not be dotted. A seasonal river. Then we have a swamp. So all these are drainage features. So you'll see water there, and we'll have some marsh. Let's say the papyrus. Yep. With the help of a diagram, describe the radial drainage. So radial, usually it happens on top of a mountain. Oh, let's say this is our volcano here. So you'll find different tributaries radiating. So like you're seeing there, we're supposed to have the rivers radiating outwards. So like that. So if it was a crater lake there, it is the source of water and the rivers are coming out. Centripetal, it will be the other way around. They are coming in. So this is radial and this is centripetal drainage pattern. Okay, explain the following components of GIS. You have a hardware. So an hardware refers to the physical devices necessary for collecting, storing, processing, and displaying GIS data. So they include scanners, we have GPS units, we have scanners, we have printers, and we also have sensors. What is software? So a software is a tool to store, analyze, and present the geographical information system data. And this includes the GIS programs for mapping, and we can have spatial analysis techniques, even the apps like ArcGIS, we have QGIS, yes. Then data, of course, this is information, and it could be spatial like the coordinates, that is the rasters and vectors. We can have maps. Then we can also have attributes like the population, is it small size, uh, what is it made of. You can look at land use, forests, vegetation, soil use, and all those things. The next question is outline importance of GIS in geographical studies. Importance of GIS in geographical studies. Oh. So yeah, it helps to solve geographical problems such as disaster management, let's say terrorism. Yeah, we're able to see where the terrorists are and what we can do about it. It helps to analyze data, which is very essential in decision making, like where do we put this, especially in urban and rural planning. It also helps in mapping and visualization of spatial data. We're able to just have a clue on what happens. Also, it helps in environmental monitoring. So especially at this time when we are talking about climate change, we were able to use GIS to do so. Another thing, of course, is we are able to reduce paperwork, especially when it comes to locating of places. Just from the comfort of your own phone, you're able to locate a place, and that's a good thing. Any four methods of collecting data. So we have conducting of interviews, observation, mapping of the area, remote sensing, observing, administering questionnaires and stuff. Distinguish between primary and secondary data and give examples. So primary data is one that has been got firsthand. Yeah, for example, how students perform. Then secondary data is data that is extracted from secondary sources such as books, magazines, etc.